The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debates you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions. Ring Gang Radio.
Now we'll get to the other cards that going in. Obviously, the other podcast we previewed, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, and his undercard. But there are also two other cards in terms of significance. You know, they are definitely they're definitely notable cards. There's no question about that. We will start with the ESPN Plus one. It's on Friday, where we see the return of top prospects Teofimo Lopez, and this is an IBF lightweight eliminator. So pretty much the winner of this particular fight will face Richard Kami, and Lopez's opponent for this one is Masayoshi Nakatani for 12 round bout. Now this fight is interesting in one way. I mean, we all know Teofimo Lopez. He's like offense all day. He's very explosive or whatever. But has he faced a random unknown Asian before? You know. Now, the random unknown Asian. Now, have you ever heard me use that term in a previous podcast? Basically, you know, Japanese fighters, you know, they come out, or Asian fighters too. They just come out of nowhere. They come out of left field. And sometimes they give notable fighters fits, absolute fits.
They little truth machines, really. I don't mean they're as little, but you know, they're like truth machines. Like they're unheralded. They have a little decent record. They look solid. You might see a few highlights, and you know, you're like, ooh, okay. Like, they don't look bad. They don't look good. You know, you just kind of there. And as soon as you get them in there in a live fight, you know, they throwing hands and, you know, they taking shots and they giving back some, and, you know, and sometimes they pull the upset, sometimes they don't, but you remember the damn fight, you know.
Exactly. And Nakatani, just by looking at his picture on Boxer, I was like, man, this cat looks like he's disturbed. And so it's like he's probably ready for this damn fight. Oh man, but Lopez.
That's the night to do it.
Yeah, I mean, for some people that, you know, they're like Teofimo Lopez, this is probably a showcase. I'm like, it could possibly be more than that, depending on situations. You know, like I said, I mean, let's put it this way: if Nakatani decides, he starts beating down Lopez, I won't be too surprised, because like I said, Japanese fighters are teak tough. They are strong people.
I don't even know if I want to call it a showcase. Maybe it is in a way, but it's too unknown. You know, it's different if it's somebody that we know that's a lesser fighter, and we're like, okay, yeah, he's made to look good, you know. But this guy, I don't know. And especially it's a title eliminator, you know. To get the Kame. If it's a showcase fight, it's because Lopez makes it a showcase fight with his performance, and he just kills the shit. But you know, it's like a regular fight. Like, it's a fight where, you know, if he fucks this up, he fucks up the bag. He fucks up, you know, the Kame fight. He fucks up the eventual Lomachenko fight. So when you got all that in mind, it's hard for me to call this a showcase fight.
Yep. That's also true. You do have a good point. Then what would you call it then?
I call this a motherfucking fight. It's a fight. It's a title shot eliminator. Like, it's a serious bout. Like, you know, if he loses, shit, all of that, you know, then all the hype he accumulated, and you know, and it wasn't just no, you know, it has substance. You know, he's knocking dudes out, he's dominating, and he's knocking out and beating up solid dudes. It's not just no, you know, bums or anything. Like, and he's definitely fighting people in this weight class.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not a Tank situation.
No, because I mean, I don't even think Tank will probably be able to deal with random unknown Asian.
Yeah, like so, like Lopez competition definitely has been better than Tank's.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, it's hard to make a prediction on this one. Just Lopez by decision. Lopez late KO. Maybe we get a great fight out of this. Maybe we don't. But you never know. But I don't want to call this a showcase fight because it's too much riding on it. Showcase fight is Jamal Charlo, Brandon Adams, Canelo, Rocky Fielding. Those are showcase fights.
Fair enough.
Charlo versus Coda, the showcase fights, like.
And also, this card too, just also worth mentioning, also has another eliminator at 140. We have Maxim Dadashev versus Subriya Matias. Now, Dadashev is 13-0 with 11 knockouts. Matias is, I think he's 14 or 15-0 with 14 or 15 knockouts. 13-0 with 13 knockouts. So basically, these young prospects, I always like to see young prospects get matched up fairly early, but I would not blink for this fight. I think two fights with this type of high percentages, that someone is going to sleep. So I would just as a friendly recommendation, you don't happen to miss that particular fight in the co-main.
Damn, and you pairing that up with Lopez and the unknown shit, like, I don't know, sound like that's a lit ass card.
Right, hopefully it's lit on paper. That's what counts.
That's true.
And then we have a card in London, of all places, where we have the main event. We have Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas, whereas the winner will be given the interim WBC belt for whatever reason. Like, we don't. God,
another belt, yeah.
Yeah, interim belts. I don't have a problem with interim belts, because if you use them right, they have a specific purpose. And the end game of an interim belt is you actually face the legit champion, and most people don't do that.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing is, if a guy been beating solid competition and he's getting ducked because Dillian Whyte is getting ducked by Deontay Wilder. Let's just be honest. He's been the WBC mandatory for years. He literally has the best record behind, the three juggernauts at the weight, make that 4 now because Ruiz stepped it up with the upset. So, when you take away those 4 guys, it's not I said Victor. It's not Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is not, the next, he's top, he's top 10, but if you want to round out a top 5, Dillian Whyte is definitely top 5. He rounds out after the Wilder, Fury, Joshua, and Ruiz. He's the next guy, and if he's been that next guy for the last couple years, and he hasn't got a title shot.
Part of it's because of his own doing. He just wouldn't accept for whatever, which is kind of stupid. Some of them are just self-inflicted wounds.
I mean, I feel you, but I mean, what was offered? Like, he was offered a shot from Wilder?
He was offered a shot from Joshua.
But he wasn't ready for it.
But I'm saying he was offered a world title shot by Joshua. He didn't take it. He was offered random shots from different people. He didn't take it.
I mean, so that's on him, but still, man, Wilder still need to fight that nigga. Fuck all that. Like, yeah. I mean, at least he fought Joshua before. Right. And if he's ducking title shots, he's still fighting solid competition in the meantime. So it's not like he's, ducking niggas and then fighting some bums. So
exactly.
And I don't even try to speak on the business too much of these niggas, because it's just so much of it dominates boxing and these podcasts and shit. But I just call it how I see it, and Dillian Whyte deserves a title shot, and hopefully he get one. If he wins this fight with Rivas, because Rivas is no joke. He hits hard.
He hits very hard. In fact, I mean, as I mentioned before, months ago when we talked about this fight, I mean, Rivas would have probably been a more well-known heavyweight commodity if it wasn't for the fact that he's had issues with his eyes. They never went to real specifics with it. I think outside of it's like, he had like, retinal tears in his eyes or whatever. And, and the thing is, like, usually eye injuries, depending on what commissions you deal with, particularly the New York Athletic Commission, usually eye injuries of that nature. I mean, hell, you can't even get laser surgery. You can get denied a license because you got laser surgery to correct like your nearsightedness or farsightedness or some shit like that. They are really particular with the eyes, and that's why Rivas never, until later this year, never had a American debut earlier. And you used to read all about him. It's like, oh, this, that, and the third, but then it just,
it was becoming an urban legend or some shit. But
exactly. So it was a surprise to me. Oh, what was that?
No, I was saying he rose to the occasion, with the Jennings fight. So
yeah, he did, and I was surprised. Yeah, and I was surprised too that he was actually going to be fighting. I was like, I guess I was able to see this for myself. And like I said, that dude hits hard. He hits incredibly hard. Dude was making shit hot for Jennings all night, and then KO'd him spectacularly in the last round. So I mean, this is a fight that I don't think this fight will go the distance. Like, someone will probably go to sleep. And I am thinking it is going to be Whyte. Dillian Whyte. I mean, Dillian Whyte. As we he can be fairly entertaining though. But I never liked how he fell apart the way he did against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker nearly rescued himself from a victory. And then of course we saw
I didn't like how he looked in the Chisora rematch. Really, like I felt like he was just on some lazy shit. Like Chisora was really making that fight too much. I mean, he scored a brutal knockout. He got this shit, but I'm just saying, like, usually I feel like the more skilled guy, should do a little more.
Right. Very, very much so.
That's how I look at that, but it's crazy because I see all the Rivas power and all this shit, but I still think Whyte nicks it.
All I know is that Rivas has the work rate to go 1 to 12 with minimal difficulty. Whyte does not have this. If Dillian Whyte was going to win this, he'd have to win this. He'd have to put in work early against Rivas.
I think he's gonna win a decision. I think he's gonna fight at a measured pace, and then probably kind of step it up a little later to seal it. But I don't think he's gonna. I feel like he's probably gonna approach it like the Chisora rematch. And just kind of stay active, but not too active, but just enough to stay within the round. And if, you land some better shots, you outwork them, you get the round. But the thing is, I just feel like he just can't get sloppy that way, and he can't fight behind Rivas too much, because I felt like he was fighting behind Chisora too much in that rematch. And if you got the better jab, you're the taller dude, you moving around, you hit harder, like you got more speed, then act like it, be first. Like And then that's the thing. Like, I feel like he could beat Oscar Rivas if he was, if he being first, jabbing, moving, doing what he's supposed to do. One
I think
he might get dropped though.
Exactly, and then one mental lapse will pretty much turn your Twitter,
Because it's like the Parker fight showed one weakness, and then the Chisora rematch showed another weakness. So
right,
I feel like you don't need to be showing no more weaknesses. Like, you need to fix them shits.
Exactly.
Don't gas like you did with Parker, but don't fucking just fight with your foot on the brake like you did in the rematch with Chisora. Like, he needs a balance, a balanced, steady attack. And I think he beats Rivas. When the knockout comes, it comes. But he the favorite. I mean, he the A side.
Of course.
He probably the favorite as well. So. Boxing gets your decision.
Oh man, and then we also have one notable fight on that undercard too, which is kind of like a crossroads fight. The aforementioned Derek Chisora, he will be facing Artur Zabilka. Ooh. I think that's how you pronounce it. I mean, that fight in itself is, like I said, he already, Derek Chisora is what he is, and Zabilka is what he is. Elby, do you have any thoughts on this particular fight?
That fight could be hit or miss. Like, it could be struggle, or it could be damn good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Lopez fight. It's another unknown. You don't know what you're gonna get. Like, because Chisora brings it. He's usually in good fights, and he brings a certain energy. I know, but he's a little older out there, a little longer in the tooth. So I don't know if he has that extra, that extra little spark needed. But then Spilka usually could box decent. Usually brings it, got power, a little speed. He can move around a bit. But I don't know if he has a punch resistance to keep up with Chisora. If Chisora start really landing and pressuring and doing what he do. So if both bring their A game, we might get a damn good fight though. But if they both kind of seen better days, which they probably have, we might get an underwhelming, lackluster bout from these two. But I'm leaning for. I think we're gonna get a decent fight. But I don't think neither one is just gonna be on some bullshit.
No. They're gonna try to win it back late, and then they're gonna call Wilder out in the post-fight interview.
Yeah, Wilder could have really had a fight in the UK by now. Really, you know what I mean? But anyways, we'll see if that happens. This is probably the most most meaningful heavyweight fight this year so far.
Facts.
Joshua Ruiz wasn't bad, but Joshua was the favorite. It wasn't like it was just a step up from Miller.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that we have to wait just to get significant heavyweight fights, or one was significant, the other one is just we're trying to make it significant, but Yeah, and then also too, obviously they'll have Lawrence Okolie on that card, as well as David Price. God bless him for actually still continuing his career.
He's still fighting.
Yeah, you would think someone who's gotten knocked out 6 times or whatever would have fighting out and said this shit ain't for him.
6 times, it's not just this is the thing. David Price doesn't get regular knockouts. All his knockouts just seem like you're damn, did he live? They just always look so bad,
incredibly bad. And I have a feeling too he's gonna suffer another one of that nature. But this box, it's all you know. It's all you know. You know what to expect. So yeah, like I said, I think those are the cards that are coming up. So yeah, I mean, between that and then of course Pacquiao and Keith, next weekend is gonna be super lit for boxing. Super lit. So we've reached the end of our podcast, I believe. LB, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh no, this should be a great weekend of boxing. A lot of high-profile fights, a lot of meaningful bouts and matchups. Just hope we get some good fades. That's all I can really say, y'all. Y'all check out ringgangradio.com. More hot content on the way. R.I.P. Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker. That's all I really got to say. And hopefully all these fights end up good. It'd be a damn shame. Y'all better honor this man and put that shit on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all let it out.
That's real talk. And my final thoughts too. I mean, I'm just hoping that I'm hoping for a lit weekend of boxing. I know on Saturday too, around here it's supposed to be 100 degrees, so I gotta figure out some situations if I want to like watch any of the fights here or go somewhere else where it's a lot cooler and I'm not boiling alive. And I do have an AC one. I do have an AC in my place, but that AC though, violated. Word. But other than that, like I said, Elby says, just check our website. Our podcasts are on every different types of platforms and stuff like that. So yeah, give us a check, subscribe to us, follow us. You won't be disappointed. So for myself, Patscorpio representative, for LB Shutterworth da Gawd, the GOAT artist, yes. We are out of here. Yeah, we are out of here, and it's been a good episode of Real Talk, where it's always shit real. We talk about it, and we will see you soon. Peace.